All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new episode at IQ Central Dialogue. My name is Fatimata, and I'm here with Coach S.I.R. Coach S.I.R, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Fatu. I really appreciate it.
All right. So let's just go ahead and start introducing yourself shortly.
Sure. My name is Sir Farimang Sano. I was born in the Gambia. Um, uh, was in Nigeria. Did parts of my primary school over there from nursery, from nursery to grade six, and I came to Gambia. Continued my education to grade eight, and then I went to the United States.
All right. So, can you tell us a little bit more about your athletic background? As we know, you are a former basketball player, but can you also dive into how you came into the track and field area?
Okay, so when I left the United States from high school, I went to Cyprus International University for my business administration course. And while I was there, I ventured into basketball, tried to continue my career. And a university near East, which was Near East University, which was one of the best teams in the country. And they had access to draft players to the Turkish national team. So I wanted to venture into that. And as I went for my tryouts, I got injured, rotator cuff injury. So it was really challenging to try to get, a physiotherapist, or financials weren't really letting me, get it all fixed for myself. And I had no idea of physiotherapy to myself. So I was really in a place at that moment. So I tried to venture into researching, tried to fix it myself because I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
it's all about research. So let me just start my research and see what I can do. As I venture into that, I came to find out, okay, it's not really that hard. It's more of actually trying to understand the biomechanics of the human body and how it functions and how you can take care of it basically. So from that, I fixed it basically. I fixed it myself. After
Mhm.
6 months of actually doing the rehab, I finally had my arm back. But during that 6 months, I got more deeper into studies and I could not really focus more on that. And school became more hard. And, I was really, really loose when it came to basketball. I didn't have the energy no more. The engine was kind of getting old. So,
Mhm.
but I was still active. And I just, yeah, I just slipped out of basketball. And then I focused more on my courses, finished it, came back to Gambia to come and work. And as I worked, I was working at a mobile banking app as a client success manager. And then from there, I just saw that sitting in the office is just not for me at all. And my body is just used to movement. It's not used to sitting in one place, being on a laptop, and just, I was like, nah, I need to find a job that is related to sports. So I reached out to SBEC International School in the Gambia. Is, I would say, the best school in the Gambia so far when it comes to academics. Sports, they're not really that great, but we're coming up. The football team is really good. So I saw that, okay, this is a this is an environment where I can actually grow in sports and I can actually impact the Gambia in a different way, bring something new to the country because we lack these things here in the Gambia. We lack professionalism. We lack people that can actually do a lot of great things when it comes to sports. And then that was my thought at that moment without really knowing the country too as well and meeting people. But as I start meeting people, I get to see that, okay, it's a lot of brains in here. So let me try finding people that I can actually work with. And yeah, from there, as I was getting into CPEC, I was venturing more into movement too as well. I start thinking, okay, I don't like how the modern day movements are being done because I feel like it causes a lot of injuries for these athletes and it's not the way our ancestors used to move, it's not the way they lifted things, it's not the way they lived their lives. So even the deep squats and all these other stuff, I was like, hold on. So I start venturing into that. I start trying it out, experimenting on myself, and my body is starting to do it as a 6'9" feet tall person.
Mhm.
I'm like, how am I able to move like this? So I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, I can move like this. This is actually how we all should actually be moving. And I see that people that are my height really struggle a lot when it comes to movement
Yeah.
and when it comes to posture too as well. So I've built my body to be able to be stable, strong, and with control.
Mm-hmm.
And I met a friend, Omar So. I would call him the best coach in the Gambia when it comes to track and field. He's very young. He became a friend of mine. Right now, it's like a brother to me.
Yeah.
And I saw a potential in him. I contacted the Gambian head coach of track and field, and she brought me to her team. That was after the
Mm-hmm.
2020 Olympics. As
Mm-hmm.
soon as Gina Bass compete and then could not make it eventually, I was like, okay, wait, I need to get into track and field. The
Yeah.
arm working was not working, but the legs can actually move, so
Yeah.
try to get into that. And then I got into it. Although the training was really, really hard, it was new to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was very different than my body has never experienced before. But at the same time, I believed in myself and I knew like I can actually do this.
Yeah.
So through I met Coach Omar, and then he got me through the grassroots phase, working
Mm-hmm.
on my posture and building me from the ground up. And then I continued with him,
Yeah.
saw potential in him, so I knew that okay, this is the right guy for me. And I
Mm.
got me to a stage, a huge transformation actually. Right now, looking at myself from last year, I started actually 2 years ago, but I was more
Yeah.
consistent since last year till today.
Okay.
And I've been training slowly, slowly, but I haven't gone into any competitions yet because it
It
takes
takes
time
time. Yeah. Yeah.
for me. With the body type I have, I am more of a lean, tall person,
Mm.
and call me long because I'm just very, very tall. But it takes a
Yeah.
lot to
Yeah.
body, in such speed. So I try
Mm-hmm.
to be patient, and through my injuries, it's taught me a lot to actually go through more with a program and a
Mm.
system, actually going head on and trying
Yeah.
to, and that causes a lot of injuries as I've experienced in the past when it comes to sports. So right now I'm just taking it easy, trying to build my body until it's fully ready. Then I get
Mm.
into inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. Yes. I love that you mentioned um you acknowledge yourself that you kind of had an idea of how the sports culture or just like training, the athletic training part of it, like the gym part and everything was in the Gambia. But then when you actually came back and you actually saw, you kind of be like, okay, it's not really how I thought it would, because a lot of people might think like, oh, there's not a lot of brains or maybe people don't know how to do things. There's so many coaches. I've seen a lot. There's so many different, there's tons, like lots of gyms in the Gambia, different ones, and people going. They're very active people in the Gambia. I see more and more and more. So there are people, coaches, trainers. They're very active and want to get that more. They're trying to blend it into the society. So it's not just athletes; it's also people doing marathons. People are running now. Like they're doing a little bit mix of everything. So I like that you extra acknowledge that as well, and notice the positive things as well in the Gambia. So I really appreciate that as well. So just one thing that I wanted to ask you, because we have a lot of coaches here, players here that's been joining our podcast. But it's a little bit different because me and you, both of us are working as either like personal trainer, strength coach. Um, what do you think yourself, briefly, what do you think is the main difference that you've noticed from, for example, when you was in Cyprus or when you were in the US and then come back to the Gambia, when it comes to the athletic culture, sports culture? What do you think has been the main difference for you?
Um, I would say the environment, the equipment,
Mm, yeah.
and, the way they basically do things over there. They're more organized. They have more support financially. Better training camps, better gyms, and more technical coaches too as well. That actually didn't just get experienced
Mm,
in what they actually went to school for it too as well. So they got both sides.
mm,
Most of our coaches here, I would say, and the athletes, we don't have this. Most of us don't have this opportunity to actually get these level one coaches or level two or level
Mm,
three, advance our own knowledge or even
yeah.
learn more about the biomechanics or stuff like that. So, and the competition is different.
Mm,
Out there, it's really tough. Like I tell my athletes down here, um, you can you can you can look at the diaspora as a place where you can actually look at competitions. You can know where you are and where you need to be. And this is where you're trying to get out of the Gambia and go compete outside for your country. You're not trying to just stay in here. So you could use that as a benchmark to actually reach, And I feel like too as well, we had more coaches down there who are willing to actually grab onto you, and actually help, but in a sense that it benefits them more. It's more of they see how they can gain stuff from you. It's not about always about your potential or everything that goes it has to be around you. But in Gambia, it's more of you have more coaches who are actually willing to build an athlete without having to ask for anything, without having to gain anything out of it. They just do it for the love of the sport. Like most of the coaches that I know down here who are actually, not having that much financials, but they would do anything right
yeah.
there, long kilometers just to get to a training ground and be able to teach you. And I feel like if you have such type of people around here, is more
Mm,
motivated out there, and it gives you more time in the Gambia to actually prepare yourself than out there because the pressure is different. It's the competition
mm.
there. Yeah.
Would you, I would also want to ask you something when it comes to this, because what's the age, like the age group that you'll be working with? Can you just mention that? This is
Yeah.
like teenagers. What is it exactly?
Well, right now I have a mix of different ages.
Okay.
I have 12-year-olds upwards, all the way to 17 so
Mm-hmm.
far. Yeah, so basically I would say young under 18 basically from 12 to 18. Those are
Mm,
my ages that I'm actually working with so far. And those are athletes. When it comes to
yeah.
the personal training that I do, these are like 20-year-olds, 25, 26, and about five of them that I actually work. I started small because I'm just me and I'm dealing with a lot. So
Yeah.
I just try to make it easy on myself as well and
You need
try to
to.
be an
Yeah.
athlete able to train because when it
Yeah.
comes to track, a lot of recovery, and you need to plan your day out. You need to know what to eat. You need to know, basically, you need to be very, very detailed throughout your day. You need to set up
Mhm.
some tasks stuff that you need to execute. You need to have free time, and
Yeah.
there's no it just takes a lot. You put a lot out there on the training ground. You want everything. You want to get as much to be sustained inside. So you don't want to train and then have to spend your whole day just either talk,
Exactly.
moving
Good.
around, and out the workout. You need to be able to relax. And that has been a challenge for me because I train early in the morning and I have to go to work and
Mm,
then I have to school as a PE teacher. And then after school, I have to be there as a basketball and a track and field coach as well. And
okay.
personal trainer as well. So I'm usually done around almost to eight in the evening. Then I have to get home. Then I have to rest, and that's not enough. But I have to work with that.
Exactly. That's what happens when you're juggling different, careers. You're wearing different hats, a lot of hats. You're just one
Definitely.
person, so it will take time for you to, how should I say? It will take time for you to kind of like figure out what you need to do,
Yeah.
or not figure out, but just calm yourself down. Be like, all right, I'm a student right now or not a student. Let's say like now I am a PE coach, right? All right, in like 2 hours, I need to become a basketball coach, or I need to be a track and field coach, or I now have to go to work. So you need to like shift your mindset, and that's something I think a lot of athletes. I mean, you're used to this now, obviously, because you've been doing it, which it comes with experience. Even though it might be hard, but you still know how to figure it out. It's all about planning. So I just want to ask you one thing. Like when it comes to athletes, you can also use your own perspective, like about yourself as well. What do you think is something that a lot of athletes um, do wrong when it comes to their training regarding, nutrition, sleep, like you said, recovery, all of these things, because it's not just going to practice. It's about all the other things. What are you doing to take care of your body after you leave your practice? So what's
Yeah.
something you feel about? Yeah, what do you think about that?
All right. So I feel most athletes, I would say, get very, very caught up with, I mentioned earlier, you need for them to look more at the diaspora and see how they do things and
Mm,
how focused they are. But sometimes it get over their heads sometimes because they focus so much that they want to pressure themselves. You
yeah,
know, they want to pressure so hard, and the fact that you're pressuring, but you're not there. You're not there and competing. You're actually here, and there's no pressure for you here. There's a competition time. There's less competitions here, and there's less pressure on you. Track and field is not that big too, as well, and not just track and field in any sport, football, all of that. And another thing, I see a lot of people, a lot of athletes will go for training, come home, shower, eat, and then go out. That maybe they don't have a job, they don't have anything to do, they're just athletes, but they will go out and go talk, sit around and drink around and just talking and vibing when they could actually just be resting, because I feel like the best recovery you can ever get as an athlete is actually sleep. And if you don't sleep, and sleeping is, they believe sitting down and talking and relaxing is actually recovery,
resting.
which
Yeah,
need to actually sleep. The eyes need to sleep. The ears need to sleep. The brain needs to be actually functioning on its own without you telling it what to do at that moment. Everything needs to be resetting.
mm,
All
yeah,
the you build all the muscles you need to be built. You need to build from the training you had. The body needs to
mhm,
reset so you don't get sore. It solves a lot of things for you when it comes
yeah,
to sleep, and when it comes to nutrition too as well.
mm,
I feel like that is out of a lot of athletes' control because the diet too here. You don't get the luxury. A lot of athletes don't get the luxury of actually choosing what they want
hmm,
to eat, getting type of food that they actually need, or even getting to understand what is good for them and what is not good for them. Because it's not being taught to them in school and stuff like that. It's just traditional where you get to know that, okay, this food is my traditional food I get to eat. And
mm,
our foods I think we've transitioned more on raw, simple foods than more of all the ingredients that are being added,
yeah,
the oils. Like I personally cannot eat oil. Like it's just my system. I've got to a stage with my diet where my system actually rejects it.
mm,
Just the actually wants to make me vomit. Like I cannot process it.
yeah,
Natural oil like olive oils and stuff like that. I don't, those ones work, but just a little bit of them. And yeah,
okay, all
those are
right,
the things that I've basically observed so far in the
yeah.
Gambia.
Yeah, I think I just want to add something to that as well. Specifically with the nutrition and when it comes to the resting and sleeping, just to clarify also, like what we're trying to say as well is like there's no problem of going out, relaxing, chilling with your friends and family. No. However, as we mentioned before, it's all about planning, right? If you have been practicing, I've had clients, people contact me from the Gambia, so cool, so great. But when I check how much workload they have, how much practices they have that they do, which is great for them. I mean, good, but how are you maintaining it, right? And I'm saying, oh, I have morning practice. I go in the day and then I go in the evening for like pickup. And then I do like 2 gym sessions. I'm like 2 gym sessions and 3 basketball sessions. Like some of the obviously is mandatory because it's practice. And then they have like their extra stuff, extra curriculum. Like they just do it. I'm like, wait, split it out throughout the week. How about you do pickup maybe 2 times a week, maybe you do 2 times 3 gym sessions or 2 gym sessions, and you're good to go. And then you make sure you rest and chill afterwards. So it's just stuff like that, just that mindset. But having you there as well, maybe your athletes can ask you questions, or other people that see you be like, hey, Coach Sir, what am I gonna do? Or other coaches as well. As for the nutrition as well, something that's very important. As you said, our food is very, very like highly processed, like our rice, specifically the rice. A lot of people don't know it, but it be sitting around for a long time before it comes to the Gambia or to whatever country it's supposed to come. And even though you wash your rice as we do, it's still gonna be very processed at the end of the day. But there's ways, of course. We having Chep, Domoda,
Yeah.
Yasa, Plaza, all of these things. Amazing food. I eat it often as well, but there are ways to change it. So that's something I want people to know as well. Even though we eat those things and we have food that are kind of heavy, there are ways to work around it as well. There's always a way. Okay, that's something I wanted to point out as well. Just so I appreciate that you mentioned that because it's very important. I love talking about nutrition and like recovery and stuff like that. But when it comes to you though, with all your experience that you've had, when it comes to injuries, when it comes to just maintain all of these different roles in your mind and just physically and mentally, what's your advice for athletes now that are taking on this big workload, as you're saying that they don't really realize that they don't really have that. They have pressure, but it's like they don't have that pressure actually. So what is from your experience that you can tell them to help them?
Um, that's a very good question. Yeah, so the how you can actually work around that is to just really just understand that, okay, I feel like first of all, social media itself actually influences this a lot. A lot of people now are so focused on succeeding to the point that they forget that it's actually a process
Mm,
in the you try to speed up your process, and speeding up is actually detrimental because injuries come out of that. That's why a lot of athletes do get injuries. I see it all the time.
mm,
And it's the only way to basically go about it is to know that, okay, I'm an athlete. I need
yep.
to take time to build up. If my success is coming, my breakthrough is coming, it's gonna come. I just need to take my time to build myself because the body
Mm,
is not a machine.
yep.
It be taken care of. There's ways to take care of your bodies too as well. There's a time to do things, and there's the time to actually rest too as well and back off. You can't, like you mentioned earlier with the workouts that most athletes like to put all together. And they forget that you need a program. You need a workout program. You need to be in that workout program. You can't go outside of it. You can't do too much. Just because today you come to practice and you're feeling great, you're like, okay, in the afternoon I gotta go again. And then you feel a little bit better in the afternoon. You're like, okay, maybe in the evening time I'll do some abs. Like you're just stacking yourself up and you're not giving room for your body to actually improve or even heal from the previous workout. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's another issue that people really get into and it's not really helpful. It actually sets you backwards. Not really,
Mm,
you're not you going back because you're stacking up a lot of things. And the body, when it comes to injuries, injuries happen and then show up a month later, in a serious way. Like you can get it injured right now on the inside without really feeling much. It could just be a sharp pain, and you don't pay it no mind. You're like,
yeah.
okay, maybe it was a wrong step or none of that. That's your body communicating to you. So a lot of people don't know how to listen to their bodies, when the body actually communicates. When you feel pain, sometimes it's telling you, yeah, I'm weak over there. That point of that body is actually weak. But at the
Mm,
same time, okay, we need to relax a bit more so we can, take it easy on that part, but not
yeah.
actually add on it like the more you add, the pain is gonna go. It's not. It's just gonna get worse. And sometimes
Exactly.
it comes again later on more serious than
Mm,
before because the body too heals itself. It takes care of itself. It cleans
yeah.
itself. Sometimes you might have a cleanup and then you feel better. You feel like, okay, you are healed up. You're not. It's just the body that, is trying to fix itself,
Yeah.
and this is in you need to assist it and not actually try to stop the
Yeah.
process.
I totally agree. Like I agree with everything that you're saying because this is something that I've been like preaching all the time. Um, and as you do probably as well, not only to athletes in the Gambia, it must be to, any other people that you meet because it's all the same. It's the same formula. It is. It's just to different people, and they can just apply it to their life in the way that it fits them and works for them. But one thing that I also wanted to just mention is um, when it comes to sports, like
Yeah.
you said, track and field basketball is totally different things, right? It's a sport, but it's two different things when it comes to like cardio, movement. Like it's just unbelievable, right? So for your athletes, do you have how many athletes are track and field and basketball, or is it mainly just track and field that you're currently working with right now?
Well, so the track and field is actually the school team, and I have a basketball team for the school as well.
Mm-hmm.
But about 8 people right now. And for the basketball, I have about 12 people right now. And
Okay.
we're still on that. But the basketball is connected to, I have some players, because the school has an academy called
Mm-hmm.
SBEC Academy, and that's separate from the team itself, the school team itself.
Yeah.
But academy for bodyweight exercises, I basically improve their performance. And they
Mm-hmm.
have a basketball actually teaches them basketball, Coach S.I.R. He's a very good coach. Well, shout out to him.
Yeah.
And we have, yeah, I basically work with that team. He has a boys and a girls team, and I train both of them from,
Mm.
let's say, Wednesday, and he takes them on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And for the track team, I take them for Monday, Wednesdays, Friday, and Saturday. So they need more room for relaxation than the basketball team because it's more of high demand for them. It's all
Mm.
about power, explosiveness. So basically, those are the groups that I really have right now at the moment, and plus the personal training as well.
Yeah, yeah, we can't forget that. We can't forget that one as well. No, I really hope that you will get more people to, work. I mean, hopefully it will be not too much on your workload, but I still want you to have more people, more clients, more people coming to you. And I think one thing that you mentioned before previously was about how people put on so much workload, right? Just one thing that I think is very important for athletes, whether you're a football player, a track, volleyball, handball, anything,
Yeah.
always make sure to consult with a trainer before you start adding things onto you, right? One thing though that can be hard is who am I supposed to consult? Because it might be different things. If you are a football player, maybe it's better to consult someone that knows in general over us, maybe a specific coach that is for football, athletic train like a strength trainer, strength and conditioning coach, or someone that actually has knowledge of it, and not just go to like another coach that just knows a little bit of movement and the biomechanics and all that stuff, right? So that's something I just wanted to point out there because it's very important, right? um One thing that you mentioned, with your injury,
Yeah.
right, with your shoulder, you were able to handle that yourself, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Right? um but what I was gonna say is, what's something that you feel when it comes to equipment, right? Do you think equipment is a big reason as to why athletes are not able to succeed with their performance?
Well, I when it comes to movement, I believe you can make a lot of things with
Mm,
equipment. You don't really need the standard equipments. Like let's say for track and field, for
yeah,
example, they have track outside of Gambia. Like you have professional tracks, like in Senegal, they have proper standard tracks.
yeah,
And we're ours. We don't really use it much. We haven't used it in some years now. But we use the sand. And the sand is actually I call it my gym.
yeah.
It's right away. It actually builds a lot of speed for you if you run on sand. So we actually have a lot of natural things in Gambia. It's not, we just like the equipment parts because it's more, it just looks more cool to use the equipments and stuff because that's what you're looking at on the internet. But sometimes you got to work with what you actually just have. And there are things around you can use. There's tools you can use. You have,
All right. So when it comes to equipment, do you think that is something that is important for people when it comes to the success of their performance, the access of this heavy, fancy equipment?
well, I would say it is, but it's not too as well. If you have it, you could go for it. You'll be
Mhm.
really good. But if you don't do as well, there's always equipments around you.
Mm.
Like an example, like the track and field, the sand. We have tracks in Senegal, we have tracks in a lot of places, but Gambia we struggle with tracks. But even with that, we still produce really, really good athletes that actually go to Senegal and dominate with their tracks over there. So
Mm.
I feel like you don't really need those fancy equipments when you already have equipments around you, whether it's a chair, whether it's a table,
Mm.
anything that is actually heavy or usable, you could use it. Like
Yeah.
the sand that I was just talking about earlier. You could use this. Running on sand actually builds more power for you, more speed, and more explosiveness.
Yeah.
As soon as if you train on sand for your whole season, as soon as you get on track, you get a lot faster. Like you lighter and more in control of your body. Like I've experienced that too as well. But I haven't ran on a track. I've ran in sand, and then I try to run on a more smoother and flat surface, and I can feel myself way lighter and more explosive and more in control of. So I feel like these are actually things that we already have, and we can actually we don't need those factors. We can actually use what we just have.
Exactly.
Have them, but at the same time, you already have it. So just use
Yeah.
it. Don't try to reach for things that you cannot really, get your hands on right now, and don't even stress about it. You can always, you can always just come up with something else to replace that. There's
Yeah.
always things, you know.
I totally agree. Basically, be creative with what you have around you. That's the main thing. Creativity, whether it is going out on the beach, because one thing for sure about the beach workouts, it is not easy.
No.
Just one little sprint down, up and down, the pulse is like
Yeah.
is going
Also,
up. Everything is just like, whoa, you gotta break and take the break.
yep.
So use what you have, all the natural resources. If you have resistance bands, I'm heavy on resistance bands. I love it. If you have, and I know you, yes, I know you too. Like, if you have resistance bands, use it. If you don't have resistance band, use, like you said, chair, table. You can use all these different things. Use your body weight. Of course, water bottle, everything. Not just in the Gambia. I'm talking about anyone that sees this in general.
Yeah.
Use what you have in your area and then work with that. That's all you can do, right? So that's what you can do. So, and be creative. Creativity, you can. The mind can do so many things.
Yeah.
So
It's powerful.
it's powerful, which is why it needs some rest. So make sure you guys rest. Exactly. It's all connected.
Of course.
So for just to end this great interview, what is something that you feel like you want to tell to anyone that's seeing this, whether it's an athlete, coach, a skills trainer, or just someone simply just interested in being actively, active?
I would say this out there because I know it happens a lot, especially with. Please trust your coach. If you know your coach actually has the knowledge to actually get you where you are, and he actually does it, please trust him and don't go in falling into other programs that is not a part of his program. Because the thing about a coach is just beyond just teaching you. They're monitoring your progress. They actually know how you move from point A to point B. They plan that to happen that way. They might have some challenges along the way because they're still trying to understand you and your body and the way you function. But you training with your coach and then leaving your coach certain days and going to do your own thing is actually tampering with your own progress as well. You don't know it, but it's actually happening because he's giving you that workout and he's telling you to have that rest for a reason. You need that rest so you can come back and execute it properly. But when you come back, they think coaches don't really know because we know as coaches. When you come back and you're not 100%, we definitely know you passed through somewhere else. You come with an injury that you didn't get from my training ground. Obviously, I know you passed through somewhere else. You were doing something that I did not advise you to do. So please, I would advise all the athletes out there, please trust your coaches and trust the process and believe in actually the time frame that is given to you by your coach to actually get developed. He's not perfect, but you could work with him. If you don't believe, if you feel like you want to do certain things, ask him first. Can I do an extra training in here? And if I can do, ask him for that extra training. Can you build me something that I can do on the side? He would know exactly what to give you to not mess up the progress that you're actually building. So don't go out on your own and try to do your own thing because you don't know as much as your coach actually knows. That's the advice I would love to give to athletes, especially Gambian athletes, because I see it a lot here.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for that advice, and I hope everyone takes that in consideration. And once again, it was amazing. It was really nice talking to you, and I hope people will listen to this and gain some knowledge when it comes to health, training, fitness, just overall performance. Right. I think this was very beneficial and very important.
Thank you so much, Fatu. I really appreciated you inviting me. Shout out to IQ Central. Thank you very much. Shout out to the whole team. I really appreciate you guys actually calling me for this meeting, and I'm very grateful for it. To be able to share what I actually have to the people too as well. Yeah, shout out to all the athletes out there too and all the coaches. Keep doing your work, keep focused, take your time, don't rush through anything. Slow progress is the best.
Yeah. All right.